Dear viewers, welcome to a new episode of Diet Myths. Today we'll be talking about healthy food. What is enough to eat? Are there any cutoffs for healthy food? Because we always promote eat healthy food. You can eat this kind of food or the other kind of food, but we never really discuss the limit. What is enough? Because sometimes more is not better. So we have to really be vigilant for what we eat and how it affects our body. I will start by one of the dishes that people like because it's convenient, eating tuna. Tuna fish, a can, is easy to eat, or even fresh tunas or sushi if you're having tuna and sushi. And it's easy, it's packed with proteins, it's easy to digest. It has vitamins like vitamin D, and sometimes always it has omega-3, of course. So it's really a very nutritive dish to eat. But how much should we be eating from tuna? And why should we worry from eating too much tuna? Now, there are environmental pollutants in the ocean, and one of them is called methyl mercury. And methyl mercury is found in tuna fish, especially the bigger tuna fish. Also in white tuna fish, more than the light tuna fish. So why do we worry about methyl mercury? Because it does cause developmental impairments. It does affect eyesight, hearing, speech, and it does affect our children mainly.
The Australian Dietary Guidelines say that everyone should eat 1 or 2 fish meals per week for good health. The good news is that it is safe for everyone to eat 2 to 3 serves per week of most types of fish. Shark, marlin and swordfish should only be eaten once a week by the general population because they have levels of naturally occurring mercury. The effects in babies exposed to high levels of mercury in the womb can include lower scores on tests that measure attention, learning and memory in their early years. To ensure they consume safe levels of mercury, pregnant women, women planning pregnancy and young children shouldn't eat shark, broadbill, marlin and swordfish more than once a fortnight, with no other fish eaten that fortnight. Nor should they eat orange roughy, also sold as sea perch, and catfish more than once a week, with no other fish eaten during that week. There are plenty of other types of fish to choose for your 2 to 3 serves a week. Check with your fish retailer about the type of fish you are buying, or check the ingredient list on a package or can.
The white tuna that comes from albacore tuna usually has 4 to 5 times as much methyl mercury compared to the light tuna. So if you're going to choose the light tuna over the white tuna, or reduce the frequency of consuming it. If you are pregnant, try not to have tuna more than twice a week. If you have a child, 25 kilos or less, they should not be eating tuna more than once every 19 days, because we do not want to have these developmental impairments that can accompany toxicity from methyl mercury. Please stay tuned. There's more to talk about foods and what's your cutoff or upper limit of these healthy foods. Dear viewers, welcome to the second segment of our episode Diet Myth. And today we're talking about the cutoff of healthy foods. How much can we eat from these healthy foods? Our next food item would be the omega-3, or the nutrients, and fish oil. Now we know, and we've been promoting over and over, for their inflammation fighting capabilities, the importance for brain development, and some studies show some evidence that it can be protective against heart conditions. So we agree all that omega-3 is a good supplement, or you can have it from food, and that would be even better. However, there is a dose by which you should abide. Usually people can have anything between 1 and 6 grams, and that can be considered even a therapeutic dose, and you can have this from food or from supplement. But Some people go really overboard and they consume like 13 grams of omega-3 through supplements or certain foods, and that can be really problematic because it has this effect of thinning the blood, meaning that if a person is injured, the bleeding time will take a longer time, the wound may not heal. If they're having a dental procedure or a surgery, that can be also problematic. So make sure you don't overconsume that. Another food item, nutmegs. Nutmegs are herbs, or actually it's a spice, a plant that really adds a lot of nice flavors to foods. We use them a lot in our Middle Eastern cuisine, and the Western world use it more towards Christmas in eggnogs and cakes and biscuits. However, it has a substance called myristicine that can cause seizures, nausea, dizziness, hallucinations. So again, do not exceed the 10 grams mark from using the nutmeg. Otherwise, you are likely to suffer from toxicity and the symptoms I've mentioned earlier. Please stay tuned. More to come in our third part. Dear viewers, welcome to the third segment of our episode Diet Myths, and today we're talking about the cutoff or the upper limit of consuming healthy food. Now I'll talk about something that we also repeatedly keep telling people: eat nuts. Nuts are healthy, they're very good. They are. They have fiber, they have minerals, they have good quality protein, some of them have omega-3, but specifically I'll be talking about Brazilian nuts. Brazilian nuts are tasty. They're satisfying. Some people consider them even comfort food, and they're rich in an ingredient or a trace mineral called selenium, which is also important to our body. However, what is the dose? How many nuts can you eat? Actually, selenium can cause some problems if you go overboard eating selenium. And the upper limit can be anything around 300 micrograms, and the recommended amount per day would be something between 50 and 70 micrograms of selenium. But do you know how much selenium is there in one Brazilian nut? It has 90 micrograms, which exceeds the daily recommendation. So if a person eats 4 to 5 nuts, you're definitely hitting the upper limit. And even one can be 5 times as much as a child recommendation is. So don't overdo it with Brazilian nuts. Do not exceed 4 or 5 by any means if you're eating them, or you can have one along with the other nuts you're having. What are the symptoms of selenium toxicity? Hair loss, nail loss, and memory difficulties. So be very careful about Brazilian nuts when you eat them. Finally, although there are many other foods, I'll talk about cruciferous fruits that are vegetables, that's like kale and broccoli, and we all know that broccoli symbolizes healthy food, but they can interfere with iodine absorption. So if you have a thyroid problem, make sure you don't overeat broccoli or any cruciferous vegetable. Eat healthy, eat in moderation, and enjoy your food. Thank you. Dr. Rula Barake from the Dasman Diabetes Institute.